You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, Florida Governor Rick Scott was on the Suncoast today at Mote Marine Laboratory, making sure the state's environment is taken care of for years to come. In addition to the environment, he discussed preserving our beaches. ABC 7's Rick Adams joins us live tonight from Mote Marine with more on the governor's visit. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, there was a lot of excitement here today. The governor says there's a lot to be proud of. It's a hefty investment, but it's one Governor Rick Scott is happy that has been made. $4 billion is earmarked for the preservation of Florida's environment and agriculture, which includes the protection of the state's beaches, springs, and the Florida Everglades.
We're blessed. You know, one, we live in a pristine environment that we can always improve, but on top of that, we have a good economy going so we can make investments.
Part of that money does go to Mote Marine Lab, where improving the red tide situation and coral reef restoration are just some of the things the experts are tackling aggressively. Dr. Michael Crosby, president and CEO of Mote, says he's grateful for all that the governor and lawmakers are doing for the environment.
This really was a bit of a celebration for the environment.
Many folks on hand for the governor's visit to Mote say he could not have picked a better place to focus on the environment, especially the ocean environment.
We certainly are focused on doing groundbreaking research that really pushes the frontiers of science forward, but I think we also have as an extremely high priority to translate and transfer that science to really have impact.
And the governor did have high praise for the work being done at Mote Marine Lab.
Mote Marine does a great job. I mean, they're doing a variety of things. On top of all the research, they're also educating our kids and our grandkids. But I look forward to their success with regard to dealing with red tide. I look forward to their success with the coral reef.
Earlier this month, Governor Scott did sign a record $88.7 billion state budget. And on April 9th, the governor says he's going to be making a very special announcement, and that announcement is expected to be his announcement for U.S. Senate. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, Rick, thank you. We might soon see less problems with red tide thanks to a new bill signed into law. $8 million was just made available to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, for research on red tide. This is good news for tourists and scientists alike. Mote Marine Laboratory says with that money, it would be able to open a research center dedicated to studying algae blooms. Scientists have already started to research how the red tide toxins accumulate in shellfish and how rapidly it can be cleaned.
So we need more careful monitoring of it. Of course, that's expensive, which there's not resources to do that. So we are working with the state and federal agencies to come up with much better ways to more rapidly identify the presence of red tide locally, and also how much of the toxins are actually in the shellfish.
Dr. Pierce added that if they discover there isn't a high level of toxins, the shellfish would still be able to go to market instead of closing the beds altogether as they do now. It's a race against the tide after a piece of history washed up on a Florida beach this week. Researchers are working quickly to document the find before it's reclaimed by the sea. Experts say the well-preserved section of a wooden ship's hull that was washed up overnight on Tuesday in Ponte Vedra Beach could date back as far as the 1700s. Evidence suggests that the vessel was once sheeted in copper, and crews have even found Roman numerals carved on its wooden ribs. Next, researchers hope to use photos they have taken to create a 3D model of what it could have looked like. The deadline is tomorrow to help solve what many call a medical mystery. Manatee County health experts are trying to determine if tainted soil caused former Bayshore High School students to have a higher rate of cancer and autoimmune diseases. More than 200 alumni have already submitted a survey to the health department. Those former students believe that they fell victim to cancer because of contaminants at the school.
My sister's class of 1979, there's 4 leukemias. 3 of those have passed away. And we've recently learned of 3 Lou Gehrig's disease from the exact same class. 2 of those are deceased. And Lou Gehrig's disease, as you know, is extremely rare, just like the leukemias are. And all of these are from the class of 1979, which had a graduating class of approximately 260.
All alumni and staff from 1962 till now have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to submit their survey. In 6 months, a final report will be issued to determine if this medical mystery is linked to Bayshore. A Sarasota neighborhood is speaking out against a proposed housing project that will include rooms for the chronically homeless. The facility was approved last month by the city's planning board and could break ground this June between the neighborhood and Fruitville Road just east of Tuttle Avenue. It's a collaboration between Tampa builder Blue Sky Communities and local nonprofit Community Assisted and Supported Living, who want to build 80 residential units on the property. They say half of those units will be for low-income families. The other half will be a mixture of transitional housing and permanent housing for people with disabilities. On Monday, residents will ask city commissioners to schedule a public hearing for that project so that they can express their concerns.
Because there isn't an organized neighborhood association in this community, notices were not sent out to the entire community, and as a result, people were hearing about it after the planning board approval process and felt like that they didn't have a chance to weigh in.
The nearly $20 million project is scheduled to break ground this June and be completed by June of the following year. It is entirely funded by a mix of government grants. Well, a nice evening tonight as we inch closer to the holiday weekend. Let's check in with Steve Newman for a look at what we can expect for Good Friday and Passover. Steve?
Oh, we got great weather for both. Now, there could be a few sprinkles here and there, but it's not going to be a rain event. It's not going to be anything that's going to wash out your weekend. But we do have an approaching cold front that does bring a chance of showers in the forecast about this time tomorrow through the early part of Saturday, and then just a slight chance for the rest. Tomorrow, a good beach day, a good day to be out on the water as the front approaches with south-southwest winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. Back to a moderate chop on the bay, but the beach temperature 79, UV index 10. Use your sunscreen, and the water is warmed up to 71. Here's the futurecast for overnight. I'm going to step out of the way because you're going to see the atmosphere moisten up out over the Gulf of Mexico. Chance of showers increases not tomorrow afternoon. It'll probably take till tomorrow evening for those showers to get here, if any arrive at all. Here's your weather planner for the overnight hours. Temperatures through the 60s, warming up very quickly when that sun comes up. We'll have that weekend forecast in detail in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Okay, Steve, looking forward to it. Several law enforcement agencies across Florida are searching for a fifth man connected to a series of gun thefts. 4 men are under arrest in connection to the burglaries, and law enforcement think more than 150 of those guns are still on the streets. Kendrick Collier is still on the run and is being referred to as one of Central Florida's most wanted. Investigators have recovered roughly 35 of the 156 guns stolen. New at 11, Hawaii is now the 6th state to legalize assisted suicide. The state Senate passed the measure today, which allows doctors to fulfill requests from terminally ill patients for prescription medication that will allow them to die. The governor has said that he will sign that measure. The bill includes safeguards intended to prevent abuse, including criminal penalties for anyone who tampers with or coerces a prescription request. Opponents say it puts the poor, elderly, sick, and disabled at risk. A woman says she was kicked off a Disney cruise because she's pregnant. This family of 10, including a baby boy on the way, boarding a plane from St. Louis to Miami. Emily Jackson says she and her family went through security, even boarded the cruise, but as they waited on their room keys, crew members singled her out for being pregnant.
So we then had to take both babies outside, wait almost 2 hours for our luggage outside in the heat, and both babies are red-faced, and it was terrible.
Now, Disney's policy is women 24 weeks pregnant during the cruise will be refused passage. This family says they are getting a partial refund. They wanted to warn other families, especially those who are new moms. Solar jobs are looking bright across the Sunshine State. The Solar Foundation says while solar employment declined almost 4% nationwide, jobs in 29 states, including here in Florida, saw an increase. Florida has added over 300 new solar jobs in the last year. Meanwhile, people in Venice are trying to make solar energy more affordable for individual homeowners by sharing solar panel buying power. The State College of Florida is hosting a free info session to help implement solar energy in the community. A speaker from the National Sierra Club, the oldest and largest environmental group in the country, will discuss a renewable energy initiative adopted by the Sarasota City Commission and how to bring it to Venice. That event will be next Friday in the library of SCF Venice from noon until 1. That event is open to the public. Well, stay with us. Meteorologist Steve Newman will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, a judge's new ruling may make people want to drink less coffee. And Carnival Cruise Lines really wanted to find one boy named Darian. What his Snapchat had to do with the whole thing.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
The Mark, Sarasota. Landmark living in the center of it all. A private oasis in the sky. Luxurious private amenities. Promenade shopping and dining. The best of downtown downstairs. Now under construction and priced from the mid-700s. This is life right where you want it. Call or visit our Discovery Sales Gallery today. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by the Culture Group.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Well, Steve, you mentioned it before, some raindrops possibly, but nothing really that's going to really cause any huge issues for us.
No, we could use every raindrop.
Yeah.
But raindrops aren't going to solve our drop problem, but it's not going to mess your weekend up either. Don't worry. We'll tell you the whole story coming up. But look at today. It was breezy, but good breezes for the sailing squadron out on the bay. They got their races in, and I was out there watching earlier today. And the winds have subsided tonight, generally about 5 miles an hour, so it's really pleasant out. Let's take a look at some viewer picks. Sunset at Casey Key, thanks to Jack Waters. And by the way, sunset tomorrow, the beginning of Passover, is at 7:46 p.m. And thanks, Jack, for that picture. And also a picture of those sailboats I was telling you about. Bay full of sails, thanks to Ronnie Tobin. That was the Sarasota Sailing Squadron's regatta, and thanks to Tiki for this great old Florida looking picture from the Field Club. If you get a picture you want to send to us, mail it to pics@mysuncoast.com and we'll try and get it on the air. We appreciate everyone we get. Currently at SRQ 70 degrees, the humidity is 84% with a dew point of 65, so it is moistening up, and it's going to continue to do that through tomorrow as that front approaches. Our high this afternoon, 82, warmer than normal. Last night's low, 60, 1 degree warmer than normal, but it can get cool and it can get a little warmer, as we saw on those records. Highs across the state today. You'd think that Fort Myers was the hot spot, but no. Punta Gorda came in with 89 degrees this afternoon for the hottest in the state. 82 for Sarasota and Venice. I think Punta Gorda was getting that warm southerly land breeze in from the Everglades that made them warm, and you can see evidence of that strong southerly flow with a lot of clouds this morning that kind of thinned out as the day went on. We only got a few of them here, and if we look at radar, there's nothing to speak of yet, but if we look up to the north and to the west, here's our next weather maker. Here's the front approaching, already entering the Florida Panhandle. But it's weakening. You can see the whole coverage of the showers and the intensity of them is kind of dying down as it encounters this ridge of high pressure. There's been our dominant weather influence for the last week to 10 days. And there it is out there north of the Bahamas, and the ridge extends over Florida. Well, as this front moves through tonight and tomorrow, it's going to continue to dissipate. You can see some snow showers in the northern plain states, and it looks very wet and dreary throughout much of the northeastern United States. San Francisco was warmer than Miami today with 81 degrees. They tied Cabo for the high today, so it's definitely nice out in the west and nice here in Florida too. We have about the best spring break weather you're going to get anywhere in the country. Well, look at our futurecast and see the evolution of this disturbance. It is our next weather maker, if it makes much at all. Now, it's possible we're not going to get anything at all, but as you'll see, the showers continue to thin out as the front comes through. This is 11 o'clock tomorrow night, hit and miss showers around, and they're very quickly moving, and it's in the middle of the night. The front goes by, it breaks up, but it leaves behind it on Saturday a trough of low pressure. It doesn't sweep the moisture out, so the chance we could see some showers, especially during the afternoon and evening on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday of next week, but only about a 20 to 30% chance. Not a big deal. You're going to love this weekend. Fair skies tonight, low temperature 64, and tomorrow, partly sunny day, but it'll be windy, and the winds will increase during the day, high 80, and here's that 7-day. Showing not a washout by any means. There's Passover tomorrow at 7:47, and then Saturday a 30% chance before just after midnight, and then it drops to 20 about sunrise, and it stays 20 for the next 2 or 3 days. Easter with your bunny hopping around is going to be beautiful with a high temperature of 80 degrees. No rain after that in the distant future. Jacqueline?
All right, thank you, Steve. Sounds pleasant. In consumer news tonight, a California judge ruled coffee should carry cancer warning labels. A Superior Court judge said that Starbucks and other coffee companies failed to show the threat from a chemical produced in the coffee roasting process. A nonprofit group has sued coffee roasters, distributors, and retailers under a state law that requires warnings on a wide range of chemicals that can cause cancer, including acrylamide, a chemical present in coffee. The coffee industry claimed that the chemical was present at harmless levels and should be exempt from the law because it results naturally from the cooking process to make the beans flavorful. Tesla is recalling thousands of their Model S sedans, the company asking customers with cars built before April of 2016 to have their power steering bolts replaced. A Tesla spokesperson says the company has observed excessive corrosion of the part in some cold climates where a certain type of road salt is used. No injuries or accidents have been reported in connection with the issue. Well, Carnival Cruise Lines made a Virginia teen an offer he just couldn't refuse. That's basketball great and Carnival's chief fun officer, Shaquille O'Neal, starring in the cruise line's attempt to take over the Snapchat handle Carnival Cruise. The person with that handle is 16-year-old Darian Lipscomb, who says he's already been on 4 Carnival cruises. Carnival wanted the handle ahead of the launch of its newest ship, Carnival Horizon, so the cruise tracked down Lipscomb's hometown to invite him on the first Carnival Horizon cruise. Lipscomb accepted, and he will head to Barcelona, Spain this weekend. Carnival will chronicle the teen's journey on its social media channels. And if you're looking for a way to improve your education, a job at McDonald's and Taco Bell could be the answer. Both fast food chains are expanding the education benefits for its employees. McDonald's announcing that it will triple the tuition amount that some workers get to pay for a trade school or college. Employees at McDonald's will be eligible for $2,500 a year, and managers will qualify for up to $3,000 yearly. While Taco Bell employees will have access to nearly $5,300 per year in tuition assistance paid up front so that employees don't have to pay out-of-pocket costs. McDonald's is also tweaking the rules for eligibility, which will double the number of people who have access to that program, while Taco Bell says all team members are eligible. Well, stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Kimmel's Awesome.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
With basketball legend turned Oscar winner Kobe Bryant.
I'm still tripping about it.
Mike Epps cracks up Jimmy. And Yaya's talking about the movie.
This is a good movie.
Kimmel, tonight on ABC.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
I'll be right back.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a news editor with a nonlinear editing background and experience with breaking news and live shots. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply. Now, sports.
Well, spring training is over and the 2018 MLB season has officially kicked off. The Tampa Bay Rays opening tonight against the Boston Red Sox at Tropicana Field at a sold-out stadium. It was a rough start for the Rays, going into the 8th inning down 4-0, but a 6-run 8th inning surged the Rays to a come-from-behind victory to get the 6-4 win over the Sox. And the New York Yankees were in Toronto today to take on the Blue Jays. The Yankees dominated the Jays, beating them 6-1. Newly acquired Giancarlo Stanton got his career in pinstripes off to a memorable start, hitting a 2-run home run in his first at-bat. Stanton added an RBI double in the 5th and another home run in the 9th. Luis Severino pitched 5 2/3 in his win, allowing just 1 hit while fanning 7 to get that win. And as baseball fans everywhere celebrate the start of the season, in Northport, crews are also celebrating their progress on the Atlanta Braves' new spring training stadium. The Northport Police Department sharing these photos on social media today, showing how far construction has come since its groundbreaking back in October. The stadium's construction marks a boom of development in Northport. The Braves are expected to play one spring training game at that stadium in 2019. That's a look at sports tonight. We'll have your winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closets story.
The Wild Broadway series brings you Funny Girl. Fanny Bryce dreams of being famous and through sheer guts and determination becomes a star of the Ziegfeld Follies. Playing March 28th through April 15th, it's the songs and story that generations have grown to love. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Don't rain on my parade. Come see Funny Girl.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
A local Suncoast woman stunned the judges during her audition on American Idol. 24-year-old Bradenton resident Mylan Shambles surprised Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan with her rendition of Benny King's Stand By Me. All 3 judges unanimously approved, advancing her to Hollywood Week. We spoke to Shambles today about what that experience was all like.
I was just kind of confused. I was confused, but also in awe. So when you walk in and when you see like Lionel Richie and Katy Perry and Luke Bryan, like people who are like super famous and have like crazy longevity in the music world, saying your name from like a small town girl in Bradenton, you're like, what? I don't believe this is happening.
Go to another thing.
Shamble graduated from Lakewood Ranch High School and Florida Atlantic University. She later returned to Bradenton to work in University Park. Her music career began at FAU in a performance during which she took on lead vocals alongside some of her friends. We wish her the best as she heads to Hollywood. And here's a historic end to remember for Throwback Thursday. On this day, 45 years ago, the last American ground troops left Vietnam. The service members boarded a flight on March 29, 1973, after almost a decade-long military intervention. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, more than 2 million U.S. troops served in South Vietnam. More than 58,000 Americans died in the war, along with 1 million civilians. More than 1,600 American soldiers still unaccounted for. Even though the ground troops left Vietnam that day, more than 7,000 civilian employees of the U.S. Department of Defense stayed behind. Certainly
a historic
day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the holiday has already started for some who have tomorrow off, and if you're up late, since you don't have to go to bed so early, here's the overnight forecast. Temperatures cooling off through the 60s, but staying quite mild, and tomorrow we warm up. Here is your 7 days, showing only the slightest chance we'll see some showers tomorrow night into Saturday, only at 20% really for most of Saturday, all of Sunday and Monday. Go out and enjoy this weekend. The weather will be very nice for whatever you want to do. Just a sprinkle now and then, never hurt anybody.
All right, thank you so much, Steve. And thank you all for joining us this evening. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good one.